We begin on the Eastern Front with the Soviet Union's Yak-3. Entering service in 1944, this aircraft was a masterclass in simplicity and power-to-weight ratio. While other nations were building heavier, more complex machines, the Soviets focused on a lightweight brawler optimized for low-altitude dogfights. With a top speed of 407 miles per hour, it was one of the sharpest knife fighters of the war, despite a relatively modest production run of 4,848 units. Its impact was massive, maintaining a kill-to-loss ratio of roughly 10-to-1 in elite units. The Yak-3 was so lethal that the Luftwaffe officially advised its pilots to avoid combat with any Yakovlev fighter lacking an oral cooler under the nose if they were flying below 13,000 feet. Next is the plane that defined the early years of the Pacific War, the Mitsubishi A6M Zero. Debuting in 1940, the Zero was a psychological weapon as much as a mechanical one. It boasted a top speed of 331 miles per hour and an unprecedented range that allowed it to strike Allied forces where they felt safest. Throughout the first year of the war, it maintained a staggering 12-to-1 kill-to-loss ratio, and by the end of its run, over 10,935 units were produced. However, its dominance came at a steep price. To achieve its legendary agility, engineers stripped away all pilot armor and self-sealing fuel tanks, making it a glass cannon that would often ignite after a single accurate burst of fire. Moving to the heart of Europe, we find the backbone of the German Luftwaffe, the Messerschmitt BF 109. First appearing in 1937, it became the most produced fighter in history, with over 34,000 units built. By the mid-war G-series, it reached a top speed of 398 miles per hour. The 109 was the primary tool used by the world's most successful aces, including Erich Hartmann, who achieved a record-breaking 350 aerial victories. A massive technical advantage of the 109 was its fuel-injected engine. Unlike Allied planes that used carburetors, the 109 could perform negative G dives and fly upside down without the engine sputtering or stalling, allowing German pilots to dive out of trouble instantly. Our number 3 spot belongs to the butcher bird, the Focke-Wulf 190. When it debuted in 1941, it was a shock to the Allies, outclassing the Spitfires of the era in almost every category. With a top speed of 408 miles per hour and a devastating armament of 4 wing-mounted cannons, it was a rugged, radial engine monster. Over 20,000 units were produced, serving as everything from a high-altitude interceptor to a ground attack tank hunter. The 190 was also a pioneer in pilot ergonomics, featuring a mechanical computer called the Commander Jet, which automatically managed fuel flow, RPM, and ignition, allowing the pilot to focus entirely on the dogfight rather than engine management. The runner-up is the pride of the Royal Air Force, the British Supermarine Spitfire. Entering service in 1938, the Spitfire became the symbol of national survival during the Battle of Britain. Its iconic elliptical wings gave it a turning circle that few could match. Over 20,351 units were produced across 24 different versions, with speeds evolving from 370 miles per hour in early models to a blistering 450 miles per hour in later iterations. The Spitfire was one of the only fighters to remain in continuous frontline production for the entire duration of the war, eventually evolving to use the massive Griffin engine to hunt down supersonic V-1 flying bombs. Finally, at number 1, is the aircraft that effectively won the war in the air, the P-51 Mustang. Though it started in 1942 as an underwhelming scout, its 1944 transformation pairing an American airframe with the British Rolls-Royce Merlin engine created a masterpiece. With a top speed of 437 miles per hour and a dominant 11-to-1 kill-to-loss ratio, the Mustang changed the course of history. Over 15,000 units were produced, but its most critical statistic was its range. The Mustang was the first fighter with the fuel capacity to escort heavy bombers from England all the way to Berlin and back, stripping the Luftwaffe of its home field advantage and breaking the back of the German air defense once and for all.